Hi, this is Birch Keeley, and this is the fourth video in our Getting Started series where we're trying to search for, extract, and normalize data about the frequency of audit committee meetings that are disclosed by a specific set of registrants. In this video, I'm going to illustrate how we use context normalization to find and normalize specific numbers that are reported about audit committee meetings. So I've got a search that I've already run where I did a search in our custom index for audit committee within 20 words of the word, any word rooted on meet or the word met. I reviewed these carefully. When I was reviewing them, what I was doing is I was looking for distinct patterns of disclosure that would allow me to automate somewhat the process of collecting the audit committee meeting frequency. To automate this process, I need to find examples of disclosures for different firms that are fairly uniform. I've identified one of those patterns already, and I've got it right here on the screen. You can see Trinity Industries discloses that the audit committee met 7 times during 2019. I'm going to skip down to the next one of those that I found, and I'm going to open the document for Texas Instruments, but I want to jump right to the hit where I found another disclosure where Texas Instruments disclosed the audit committee met 7 times in 2019. So this is a very distinct, a very compact pattern that we can exploit and collect data. The data we're trying to look for is this number, 7 in this case. I think it was 9 in the previous case. So to do this most efficiently, I'm going to run a new search. I'm going to go to the search menu choice. I'm going to go to history. I've done this already, and I'm going to select the audit committee met within 2 of time. So I'm going to open up that search, and I'm going to run it. I'm running it on the same collection of documents. I only found 917 documents. But the great thing about this 917 documents is in each one of those, we're going to see this pattern where the audit committee met within 2 words of times. You can see it right here. If I select on Boston Beer, let's jump down to OPCO Health. So our audit committee met 9 times. Westinghouse Brake Technologies Corp., the audit committee met 8 times in 2019. So this is a very tight pattern, and it's perfect for context normalization. What we want to do is we want to extract the context and normalize any number that appears between the word met and times. So I'm going to go to the normalization menu and I'm going to select context normalization. I'm going to use my current results. I need to specify a destination folder, which I've already defined for us as audit committee, AUCOM _meeting _freak. And the extraction pattern, I need to define an extraction pattern. In other words, what is the application going to look for specifically to do the extraction around? And we're going to look for the phrase audit committee met. We're going to look for a number, and we're going to look for the word times. In this short video, I don't have time to go through all the details of how we set up extraction patterns, but I want to call your attention to our help menu. And if you go to the help item on the application menu and go down to the normalization section and find context normalization, in here I describe how to create the patterns that we're going to use. There's some very detailed information about that, so I'll leave it for you to review it when you're ready to replicate this work or apply it to your own particular research needs. I'm going to hit the OK button. The application is going to run. It's going to generate the context for the items, and it's going to do the context normalization, and it's finished already. If I go to the actual folder, you can see I've got a file called file-to-process.csv. This contains just the context before normalization. I've done this repeatedly this morning in setting up for this video. So the most recent date modified file that's named in the form of file to process underscore date time is actually the one that represents the work that we just completed. However, I want to cheat. Rather than open that up and get it set up for you, I've got one of the earlier versions already set. What I've done is I just clean this up a little bit so you can review very quickly exactly what took place. What happened was that we extracted the context. The context I defined, I actually got to define the span of the context. We'll cover that in a later video. You can find it on the help menu if you need to. And I highlighted in red, or converted the text to red, the actual phrase that we're looking for. The audit committee met 7 times during 2019. We want that number 7. And you can see it's over in this column labeled FREQ. There's actually a lot more to talk about with respect to this, but I'm trying to keep these videos fairly tight. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint slide. I'm going to point out to you that the results have a lot of metadata about the source document. They've got the context span that was used in the analysis. That's the context where I highlighted in red. And we've got the normalization results. Sort of in review, we need to do a very focused search. We need to set a context span. You can set the context span by using the application File Options, specify words or paragraphs or number. Let's take a look at that real quickly. We're not going to change anything. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to go here to Options. I've got context, and I specify that I want 15 words extracted in my extraction. And this is 15 words on either side of the words from my search or my search results. Okay, so that's what's required there. I need to do the normalization. I specify the context normalization from the normalization menu. I need to define what results to use. In this case, I'm using the current search. I specify a destination directory, an extraction pattern, and this is the actual extraction pattern that I used. Again, review the help material and then review the results. Thanks a lot for your patience. Have a great day.